All right. So today we have what appears to be a coffee maker. This is the client comment. It was listed on Buy Nothing. It says, "This is a Michael Graves Target coffee maker, which is broken. There was a puff of smoke before it stopped pulling water or heating the element, so no simple fix. But in case yours is still going strong and you wanted the reservoir, basket, carafe for spares, they're yours." And then some pickup information. So I contacted her and told her that I try to fix things and I'd be happy to try to fix it. And she dropped it off at the house here, and we're going to see if I can fix it. I have not looked in the bag. I've not seen this device before. Hopefully it's not a surprise. Here we go. Okay. Oh, it's a very cool bag, by the way. Apparently it's a Trader Joe's bag, but it's got Volkswagen bus on there. I like those. They're very cool. 67 Summer of Love. I left my heart at Trader Joe's. Cool bag. Cool bag. All right. Well, going to just set the carafe aside. Probably not going to need that. Just taking a look in general at the condition. So I don't see any breaks in the plastic. I don't see any specific issues here. Let's make sure it's not full of water. It's not full of water. Okay. Whoop. Checking on the bottom here. Apparently, this is made by Hamilton Beach, and it's a Type A47 coffee maker. I don't know if we can see that, yeah. All right, and it's got some other information on it. Oh, the actual model number is 40304, and it's got a serial number on it as well, probably with some embedded date code information. So, did have a little bit of water in it, just let it out. That's why we have a towel on the deal here. Let's make sure there's no grounds in here. Okay, good. No surprises. There is a hopper in here though. It looks like comes out, but I'm not going to remove the hopper. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in and see if it comes on. I'm checking the cord, making sure it's not anything obviously wrong with it. Never know. All right, so it's not dead because we got a flashing timer going on there. So there's something else going on. Let's see if it heats up. I'm going to hit, I don't know, on. There we go. It's on. And it's not heating up. Okay. So based on the symptoms that were described, I'm going to take an educated guess as to what's wrong with it. And there is a method to the madness here. Generally, manufacturers use hard to open screws to keep things sealed because they don't want us opening them up. Because we'll fix them and then they won't be able to sell us any more of them. So, back to the matter at hand. So, That is one of two. Swing it around here so you can see the other one. There we go. It's kind of hiding under there. There's one of two thermal fuses. And they're set up so that when that thermal fuse reaches a temperature I'm not sure what that temperature is. Now, let's make sure that's what the problem is. I'll cut them out of here and I'll be able to tell you what the temperature is. So, if you watch that, when I touch these two together, that changes. We don't really care what it changes to, it changes. And so when I touch on either side of this fuse, electricity should flow through it. If it doesn't change, the fuse is open. That fuse is open. If I do the same on the other side, there and there, that fuse is open. So clearly at some point, this unit was at a temperature that was above the rated capacity of those fuses and blew them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace those and then run a cycle and make sure that they don't blow again, because sometimes the blowing of those fuses is a symptom and not the cause. It may be a symptom that a thermostat somewhere has decided not to regulate the temperature. That's possible. I'm going to also remove this crossbar so that I can get at the second fuse. I hope. Oh, there it is. Yep, sure I can. All right. So, there we go. So, these are the two fuses. Zoom in on this and see if we can read it. It's 192 degrees centigrade. And you can see that. It's an SF 188, 192 degrees centigrade. And they'll both be the same. These come from China in a little tiny package, and they're inexpensive, a few pennies each. So it's unfortunate that when one of those fails, we end up having to get rid of a device that's many times that. So these are little tiny butt connectors that can be used to attach the fuses. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to prepare a little assembly to fit in there right where we just took that one out. So we're going to first take off a little bit of this. Oh, by the way, these are not directional. It doesn't matter which side you use, but remember that if you have a hot side, this outside case will be hot. So the way this was installed before and the way I'll install it now is with the two hot sides facing this way, so that if we lose power, none of the outside is energized. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but, and then these little butt connectors are copper, seamless copper butt connectors, and they will they'll hold up to the temperatures that we're talking about here, and then some. So here a little bit. We'll make a cut. We're going to make a second one of those, so we'll take a little bit off the end. We'll put this connector on it. We'll then make a second one of these, about the same size. We will connect them together. Oh. Well, let's see if I can drop it someplace where I just won't be able to get it out. All right, third time's the charm. On here. Close that side, this side in. Oops. Close that side. And now we just need to line these up down here with the ones that we took off. So. This can go here. Turning it around. And we'll put this there. Now I'm going to give this whole thing a good tug. Okay, nothing's moving. That's what we want to see. So we'll put this crossbar back in place. Every time I do this, I explain it just once. I'm going to unscrew this till I hear it drop down, and that means it's back in the same threads it came out of. And then I'm going to screw it in. So in plastic, it's always good to reuse the same threads if you can, especially in older plastic, because while it can be repaired, it's a lot easier to not have to do that. So. Good news, there's no water leaking out of the bottom of this. And I have not set the water, but I am going to turn it on. There we go. And I guess I'm going to set the time to be 12 o'clock. It's alive! So for the record, what usually causes these coffee pots to fail is let's start at the beginning. The heating element for this coffee pot runs down below the kind of the keep warm plate, and water goes from the tank through that heater, and then through the process of being heated and boiled, travels up and comes out through the sprayer into the basket. So the normal service life or cycle for this heater is I have water, I heat it up. When I'm done heating the water up, I run for a while with a pot of hot coffee on top, and then I shut off, and usually the timer will shut it off on everything but the very cheapest coffee pots. and maybe even those now. So one of the things that'll cause this to fail is if you make a pot of coffee and you're good, but you think you're going to have, I think I'm going to have some more coffee. So the pot's still here, it's half full. You turn the coffee pot on again after it's turned itself off, and now you're using the heating element, or trying to use the heating element, to reheat this coffee pot. Well, the problem with that is there's no water in it. It's already dispensed the water into the coffee pot, so now it's heating up empty in an attempt to heat this plate so that it gets hot enough for this water. Well, that's not the common situation it was designed for. It's not a real good reheater. It's a good keep warm device, but when it comes time to reheat your coffee, you're best off, put it in a cup and stick it in the microwave. If you get into the habit of turning this back on to reheat your coffee the next day, 3 hours later, what have you, sooner or later, this device is going to, in the bottom, the coil in the bottom is going to get too hot, and it's going to blow those thermal fuses. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm still waiting for this to finish its cycle, but I thought I'd add those words of wisdom. So that noise is the sound of the heating tube boiling out the kind of the last of the water. There's no longer enough to make it all the way up through the nozzle, so it's just turning that into steam. It's always the noise I listen for to know that my coffee's done. All right. So we were able to make a pot of coffee. My guess is it'll keep warm just fine until whatever the programmed timing is for this. And so I'm going to call this fixed and empty it out, reach out to you to arrange return of your fancy coffee pot. We'll see you later.